In the glittering world of Hollywood, where cameras flash like lightning and millions watch from home, there exists a stage unlike any other. The red carpet, a place where fabric becomes armor, where clothing transforms into conversation, and where a single outfit can ignite a cultural firestorm that burns for years. This is not merely fashion. This is warfare waged with silk and sequins, rebellion stitched into seams, and revolution draped across shoulders. Tonight, we journey into the heart of fashion's most dangerous territory, where celebrities have crossed lines most would never dare approach, wearing creations so bold, so controversial, so utterly incomprehensible that they've been immortalized in the collective memory of popular culture. These are not just outfits. They are statements of defiance, declarations of independence, and sometimes beautiful disasters that remind us that true artistry lives on the razor's edge between genius and madness. Welcome to the untold stories of the red carpet's most shocking moments, where nothing is too extreme and everything is possible. The Transparency Revolution. The year is 2021. The MTV Video Music Awards. The venue pulses with anticipation as the world's biggest names arrive under a barrage of camera flashes. Then, time seems to suspend. Megan Fox emerges from her vehicle, and the red carpet falls silent for a heartbeat before erupting into chaos. She wears barely anything at all, yet somehow, she wears everything. The actress has chosen a dress from the avant-garde fashion house Mugler, a creation that defies conventional understanding of the word dress. Sheer mesh material, nearly invisible under the lights, clings to every curve of her body like a second skin. Thin silver straps, delicate as spider silk, hold the garment in place, creating an illusion that she walks the carpet both clothed and exposed simultaneously. Beside her stands Machine Gun Kelly, her partner, equally bold in his own aesthetic rebellion. Together, they form an image of modern romance, unafraid of judgment, unbound by traditional expectations. The media explodes instantly. Headlines scream across digital platforms within seconds. The boldest outfit of VMA night, declares one publication. Megan Fox breaks the internet, announces another. The response divides cleanly down ideological lines. Some critics praise her fearless confidence, celebrating her embodiment of modern sexuality and feminine power. Others condemn the outfit as inappropriate, lacking in fabric and taste. The controversy rages like wildfire across social media platforms, with millions offering their verdict on what a woman should or should not wear. But Megan Fox does not flinch. She does not apologize. She does not retreat. Instead, she offers a simple philosophy that cuts through the noise like a blade. Women should wear what makes them feel beautiful, what makes them feel strong, what makes them feel like themselves. In that moment, with those words, she cements her position not just as an actress, but as a modern icon of self-determination. The dress becomes more than fabric. It becomes a manifesto, a declaration that in the 21st century, women will define beauty on their own terms, and they will do so without permission from anyone. The immovable monument, while others chase trends and scramble to outdo each other with increasingly elaborate designs, one figure stands apart, unchanging, eternal. Andre Leon Talley, the legendary fashion editor, approaches the Met Gala year after year with a consistency that borders on ritualistic. He does not wear costumes. He does not chase themes. He wears the kaftan, and the kaftan alone, transforming this traditional garment into his signature, his crown, his declaration of supremacy in a world obsessed with novelty. The kaftan, a flowing robe that drapes from neck to ankle, becomes in Talley's hands not a limitation, but a canvas for infinite expression. One year, he arrives in metallic crimson brocade that catches every light, transforming him into a moving sculpture of luxury. Another year, mysterious jet black silk flows around him like liquid shadow, commanding attention through sheer presence rather than spectacle. Sometimes, pure white velvet makes him appear as a fashion deity descended from some higher realm where taste reigns supreme and vulgarity dare not enter. The media watches, fascinated, as Talley defies every convention of the event. The Met Gala, an evening designed around specific themes that celebrities are expected to interpret through their fashion choices, becomes for Talley simply another opportunity to reinforce his personal brand. He does not adapt. He does not compromise. He does not explain. while others arrive in costumes that sometimes border on the ridiculous. In their desperate attempt to impress, Tally glides across the red carpet like a royal tent, slowly processing into a grand celebration, his kaftan billowing behind him like stage curtains, announcing the arrival of true greatness. Every element of his ensemble receives careful consideration. Long velvet gloves in complementary colors, classic black shoes polished to perfection, oversized glasses that have become synonymous with his image. Nothing flashy, nothing desperate. Everything intentional, everything elegant, everything unmistakably him. As the Met Gala devolves into increasingly shocking displays of flesh and metal and avant-garde chaos, Tally remains an anchor point, a reminder that true style requires neither reinvention nor explanation. If Rihanna reigns as the queen of bizarre fashion choices and Lady Gaga commands the throne of transformation, then Andre Leon Talley sits above them all as the fashion pope, requiring not a single word to command respect from every camera, every critic, every competitor on that red carpet. His loyalty to the kaftan transcends mere preference. It becomes a statement of power. You need not change to stand out when you already embody perfection itself. The geometric enigma. The 2015 Met Gala arrives with the theme, China, through the looking glass, inviting celebrities to explore Eastern aesthetics through Western eyes. Most stars respond predictably, draping themselves in silk and traditional motifs, playing it relatively safe within the boundaries of cultural appreciation. Then Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's fiercely independent younger sister, shatters every expectation with a single entrance. She does not walk onto the red carpet, she rolls in. Her body disappears entirely within a massive geometric structure, a circular fortress of metallic material designed by Giles Deacon that transforms her into something between sculpture and spacecraft. The dress, if one can even call it that, hugs her form while simultaneously concealing it, creating a perfect circle that makes her appear as though she has been swallowed by a giant compact disc. No curves visible, no traditional femininity on display, just pure, uncompromising geometry. The internet loses its collective mind immediately. Within minutes, Solange becomes the subject of thousands of memes. Social media users compare her to a vinyl record, a bulletproof shield, a satellite dish, a portal to another dimension, a piece from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Every angle of her photograph spawns new creative interpretations, new jokes, new viral content that spreads across the digital landscape like wildfire. Yet beneath the humor lies genuine admiration. While countless celebrities chase relevance through revealing gowns and borrowed glamour, Solange chooses absolute originality. She commits fully to a vision so bold that it guarantees conversation, so unusual that it ensures memorability, so perfectly executed that it transcends mockery to become iconic. Fashion historians will later cite this appearance as one of the most important Met Gala moments of the decade, not despite its strangeness, but because of it. Solange proves that the red carpet can still be a space for genuine artistic risk, that fashion can communicate ideas beyond beauty, and that sometimes the most unforgettable outfits are the ones that make us question our very definition of clothing itself. The Chainmail Revelation 2014, the MTV Video Music Awards. Among the parade of sequin gowns and carefully coordinated designer ensembles, Amber Rose chooses to rewrite the rules entirely. She arrives wearing what can only be described as an architectural impossibility, a dress constructed entirely from thin silver chains woven into geometric patterns that cover almost nothing while technically covering everything necessary. No fabric exists beneath the metal. No lining protects her modesty. Only carefully positioned chainmail creates the illusion of coverage while revealing virtually every inch of her body beneath. The red carpet freezes. Photographers frantically adjust their cameras. The audience, both present and watching from home, struggles to comprehend what they are witnessing. Is this fashion? Is this lingerie? Is this jewelry? Is this art? The answer, perhaps, is all of the above and none of the above simultaneously. Media outlets struggle for appropriate descriptions. Chainmail Bikini offers one publication cautiously. Jeweled lingerie states another more critically. The controversy erupts immediately, fierce and divisive. Yet Amber Rose stands unmoved by the storm she has created. This outfit is not an accident. It is not a wardrobe malfunction or a miscalculation. It is a deliberate provocation, a carefully calculated statement about bodily autonomy, sexual agency, and the right to self-expression without apology. For Amber, who has built her career on challenging societal expectations and refusing to conform to traditional standards of respectability, this dress represents the physical embodiment of her philosophy. She is sexy because she chooses to be. She is daring because she refuses to be timid. She shows her body because it belongs to her, and her alone. The appearance solidifies Amber Rose's position in popular culture as a symbol of unapologetic rebellion. Whether audiences approve or disapprove becomes irrelevant. She has achieved her objective, becoming the absolute center of attention, the topic of every conversation, the image that defines the entire event. Years later, this moment remains one of the most referenced appearances in VMA history, proof that sometimes the most powerful statement one can make is to simply refuse to play by anyone's rules but your own. The living canvas fashion shows typically feature clothing. Models walk runways wearing fabric, leather, silk, cotton, materials that can be touched and worn and eventually removed. But at the Schiaparelli Haute Couture Fashion Week in 2023, Doja Cat decides that clothing itself is optional. She will become the art. She will transform her body into the canvas. She will blur the line between performer and performance until no distinction remains. The preparation takes hours. Makeup artists work meticulously, covering every visible inch of Doja Cat's skin in blood, red body paint. Then comes the real magic: 30,000 Swarovski crystals, individually placed by hand over 5 painstaking hours, creating a sparkling second skin that catches every light in the venue. No fabric touches her body. No dress obscures her form. She is naked, yet she is fully clothed in paint and light and human artistry. She walks into the auditorium not as a woman wearing fashion, but as fashion incarnate, a living, breathing, moving work of art that transcends the traditional boundaries of the industry. The reaction splits immediately and violently. Some viewers proclaim her a goddess, a revolutionary, an artist brave enough to push fashion into territories it has never explored. Others recoil, calling the display too extreme, too shocking, too disturbing in its intensity. The debate rages across social media platforms, fashion blogs, traditional media outlets. But regardless of individual opinion, one fact remains undeniable: every single eye in that venue, every camera, every critic, every competing designer focuses entirely on Doja Cat. She has accomplished what every artist dreams of achieving: complete and total attention. This appearance represents more than shock value. It asks fundamental questions about the nature of fashion itself. Must we wear clothing to be fashionable? Can the human body become the garment? Where does art end and exhibitionism begin? Doja Cat offers no answers, only the beautiful, disturbing, unforgettable image of herself as a crimson deity dripping in crystal light, walking through a high-fashion event as though she has stepped out of mythology into the modern world. The plastic future Miley Cyrus in 2015 exists in a state of deliberate chaos. She has shed her Disney image like a snake discarding old skin, and she is determined to prove to the world that Hannah Montana is dead, buried, and never coming back. The MTV Video Music Awards become her stage for this transformation, and she dresses accordingly. A bikini made entirely of transparent plastic, held together with shining metal strings, covers the bare minimum of her body. Metallic silver boots climb to her knees. Her hair explodes into space buns. Chunky, colorful accessories that follow no known aesthetic tradition dangle from her body. She looks like an alien who crashed into a futuristic thrift store and emerged wearing the first things she found. The media responds with predictable horror and fascination. Some outlets celebrate her as a breakthrough fashion icon, praising her refusal to conform to traditional red carpet expectations. Others mock her mercilessly, comparing the outfit to circus costumes and cheap science fiction props. The audience divides sharply between those who admire her rebellion and those who believe she is simply desperate for attention. But Miley Cyrus does not care about consensus. She never did. She wants to shock, to disturb, to make people uncomfortable, to force conversations about sexuality, maturity, and the right to control one's own image. The plastic bikini accomplishes all of these goals brilliantly. This appearance marks a crucial moment in Miley's artistic evolution. It declares loudly that she will not be constrained by anyone's expectations, that her body and her image belong entirely to her, and that she will use both as instruments of self-expression regardless of criticism. The outfit becomes more than clothing. It transforms into a manifesto, a battle cry, a declaration of independence from the child star image that once defined her. Years later, fashion historians will point to this moment as essential in understanding Miley Cyrus's journey from manufactured pop princess to autonomous artist controlling every aspect of her public persona. The festival disaster Christina Aguilera in 2002 is at war with her own past. The music industry wants to keep her in the safe, wholesome box that produced hits like Genie in a Bottle. She wants to explode that box, and everyone's expectations along with it. The MTV Video Music Awards red carpet becomes her battlefield, and her weapon of choice is an outfit so deliberately chaotic that it guarantees shock. She arrives in low-rise jeans ripped and tattered as though they have survived a natural disaster. A sheer crop top reveals her midriff and sun-bronzed skin. Her hair, braided into countless small strands, is dyed in multiple clashing colors. Silver accessories hang from every available surface of her body like tribal jewelry discovered at a rave. The overall effect suggests someone who got lost on the way to a street festival and accidentally wandered onto the red carpet of a major awards show. This is not glamorous. This is not elegant. This is not what anyone expects from a major pop star at a prestigious event. The fashion media responds with brutal honesty. Publications call her look a fashion disaster, failed festival cosplay, and suggest she resembles a street dancer who took a wrong turn. The criticism is harsh, personal, and unrelenting. But Christina Aguilera is not looking for approval. She is looking for transformation. This outfit represents her deliberate rebellion against the clean, controlled image that has defined her career. She wants the world to see her as mature, edgy, dangerous, unpredictable. She wants to burn her past to the ground and rise from the ashes as something entirely new. Despite the overwhelmingly negative response, this moment becomes legendary in red carpet history. It represents the golden age of early 2000s pop culture, when celebrities regularly used fashion as a weapon of self-reinvention, when the line between personal expression and public spectacle disappeared entirely, when shock value mattered more than approval. Christina's festival disaster outfit remains a touchstone for discussions about artistic evolution, image control, and the price of rebellion in an industry built on manufactured perfection. The cartoon nightmare Heidi Klum does not do Halloween halfway. Each year, the supermodel hosts the most extravagant Halloween party in New York City, and each year, she transforms herself into something so elaborate, so detailed, so utterly committed that it transcends costume into performance art. In 2015, she chooses to become Jessica Rabbit, the iconic cartoon sex symbol from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But Heidi Klum does not simply wear a Jessica Rabbit costume. She becomes Jessica Rabbit, literally and terrifyingly. The transformation requires hours of preparation and thousands of dollars in specialized materials. She wears a tight, sparkling red dress with a high slit, perfectly replicating Jessica's signature look. But that is merely the foundation. Her bust and hips are padded with enormous pieces of silicone, expanding her proportions to cartoon levels that could not possibly exist in human anatomy. Her entire face is covered with an incredibly detailed silicone mask, transforming her features into slanted eyes, impossibly plump lips, and skin with the artificial sheen of animation. When she walks into her party, guests freeze, caught between admiration and horror. The effect is simultaneously impressive and deeply unsettling. She has achieved her goal of perfect replication, but in doing so, she has crossed into the uncanny valley, that psychological space where something appears almost human, but not quite human enough, triggering an instinctive discomfort in observers. Some party attendees marvel at her commitment and the technical achievement of the transformation. Others confess feeling disturbed, unable to shake the sensation that they are looking at a living plastic doll rather than a person. The costume sparks debate about the nature of transformation, about where dedication becomes obsession, about whether perfect imitation of cartoon proportions is admirable or concerning. Regardless of divided opinions, Heidi Klum maintains her title as the undisputed queen of Halloween. Her Jessica Rabbit costume enters the Hall of Fame of celebrity transformations, remembered not because it was beautiful, but because it was bold enough to sacrifice beauty for absolute commitment to the vision. Sometimes, true artistry requires making audiences uncomfortable, and Heidi Klum has never been afraid of that responsibility. The Golden Pizza Empress, when Rihanna stepped onto the Met Gala red carpet in 2015, she did not walk. She processed like royalty, trailing behind her a golden train so massive, so elaborate, so impossibly heavy that it required its own handling system. The gown, created by Chinese designer Guo Pei and taking 2 full years to construct by hand, embodied everything the Met Gala represents: excess, artistry, cultural fusion, an absolute commitment to spectacle regardless of practicality. The dress itself weighs more than many humans. Heavy brocade fabric, stiff with intricate gold thread embroidery, creates a structure more architecture than clothing. The train extends over 3 meters behind her, a golden river of textile art flowing across the red carpet. The overall aesthetic draws heavily from East Asian royal traditions, creative than the last in finding everyday objects that resemble Rihanna's magnificent gown. Yet beneath the mockery lies a profound fashion statement. Rihanna has chosen to honor an Asian designer on an evening when most celebrities default to Western fashion houses. She has voluntarily accepted the physical burden of wearing a garment so heavy and restrictive that simple movement becomes a challenge, all to send a message that fashion transcends borders, that beauty cannot be constrained by Western standards, and that true style requires sacrifice. Fashion critics and Vogue magazine later named this outfit one of the most important Met Gala appearances of all time. And here's a question for you to consider. If you had the chance to walk the red carpet at the Met Gala or the VMAs, would you choose to play it safe with elegant, traditional fashion, or would you take the risk of wearing something so controversial, so bold, so potentially disastrous that you would be talked about for years to come? What would your outfit say about who you are? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We're reading every single one, and we can't wait to hear your perspective on where the line between fashion and insanity truly lies.